So the new owner's gonna follow through with the plans that were originally made for that building?
Yeah, I told you, they're honoring the agreement with you, that they're under obligation after that.
Was there any profit made in the sale of that building?
I don't think it's up to you.
What's that?
This might be a conflict of interest for me, but, perhaps maybe, an organization like the library would house, that type of project.
We talked about that as a potential location.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dan actually brought that up, and I think we might have had a conversation with the library today
Yes.
about that.
What everyone's saying, what I'm gathering is there any way that we can prevent this from happening again? Well, that's what everybody's saying, all right? If you get caught in the same situation again, and doing the same thing, you do it fast, what do you want? Is there any way we can prevent that from happening again?
I don't think we were educated enough when that group existed. Yeah, we weren't, it came through as a thing on the paper, and we gave a 2-sentence explanation, and I don't think we were schooled on it. That's the
There
problem.
was no long-term contingency.
Yeah, it was just, it's a good thing. When something costs the city any money, we're a conduit, it's just gonna pass through.
That's, yeah, $200,000 essentially isn't a lot of money, so.
Yeah.
We look at $200,000 a lot different than they're gonna look at
And the
$200,000.
library sounds like a viable option, because everything's already built in, and the library, and the staff here, their hours, you know.
Good news good news on the sites there. The culinary project is underway.
Oh, good.
So Penn Highlands is working with the school district. I'm not sure, from the meeting we had, we were told it is open. I'm not sure in what capacity. So if you're on Main Street walking around, stop in. All right, any other questions basically for the city manager? If not, the mayor's report. I attended the reverse raffle for the Roxbury Band Shell. Everybody knows Mary Warkow pretty much, and she does a heck of a job raising the money to keep the band shell operational in the summer concerts. So congratulations to her on another successful event. Attended the Chamber's Economic Summit at the Pastorilla Conference Center. They did present an animated tour of Central Park of what it would look like, and had, as I said, animated people walking through the park, the different pieces of it. There was an excellent crowd there, and it was a crowd, I think, not only from Johnstown, but from the outside areas. So a lot of positive comments from that meeting and just in general. Met with the president of Conemaugh Hospital, had some questions for him. I think that we need to do some research on the meeting I remember with Conemaugh being here in Duke Light Point. They had committed to moving their staff from the Westwood area, 45 staff, I believe, to the Locust Street site, which did not happen. They've been scattered all over the place, and last reports I had heard, Locust Street site is up for sale. As you know, that was designated as part of the K&Z zone. So Dennis, we may be talking to you to see where, if we go anywhere with that. Did get a positive vibe from him that they are adding additional beds, working on some of the issues with the hospital. And I know we did a presentation this week. There's a lot of lively questions on the hospital. So he was positive in a sense that they really want to rebuild and do a lot up there again. Attended Governor Shapiro's announcement at the YMCA on his rental and tax rebates. I think that's been splashed all over the news. And a real positive today, I attended a ribbon cutting. I think it's called Color Walks. There as you go up towards the Prospect area. The neat part is 2 young ladies. I think the young ladies are 19 and 21, but they're going to be operating it. So that's a big plus for the city. They get young people interested. Their parents are supporting them financially, but to have young people opening business is a real positive for the city. So, any questions for the mayor? Okay, if not, City Solicitor Dennis, would you like to introduce yourself and if there's any comments you have today?
Sure. Dennis Berry with the Leather Tree Farm. I appreciate the opportunity to be with you tonight and moving forward. I appreciate that. If anybody has any questions about my background, I'd be happy to, just briefly graduated law school from Duquesne University, and undergraduate at the University of Notre Dame. So I've been at this for a long time. So I'm really excited about being here with you and trying to help the city move forward.
Well, welcome on behalf of the council.
Thank you. And just a real quick summary of what our solicitor's office has been working on since we met last month. Participated in quite a few meetings with the city manager to review recent issues, get up to speed, litigation, and other matters. Drafted a corporate designee document for the use in certain litigation. Read and analyzed funding agreement with Pennsylvania Highland Community College and the host for Johnstown matter. Analyzed the mechanical amusement device tax issues with the city manager regarding enforcement and next steps. Reviewed generally reviewed the city charter and did some research regarding oaths of office and who may administer those. And also researched information regarding 12 demolition notice of lien letters. We got those out and we're moving forward with the process after the 30-day notice period.
Next, can you also look into, I talked to Mr. Ritter, the city manager today, on those gaming machines. In the northern part of the county, through some other contacts, it appears that the owners of those machines also could be taxed a levy of cost of operation.
If I could interject, what happens, because I deal with this in the American League, the vending companies actually gave the money to the house to pay the tax, so that they wouldn't have to pay the burden of the tax. Now, we have some in the city that have received that money and haven't paid, gotten their inspection. That's what I brought to his attention today. So the letter went out, because tomorrow, if they don't pay, the next step is in place. But we need to make a more thorough assessment of those properties. There's a brand new one that just opened in your neighborhood. There's a lot of machines in it, and
Look like a Christmas tree.
and they're not paying anything. And my point is that it expires in July. These people haven't paid for last year, and the new one's gonna start in July. So we're gonna have a compound problem, because if you didn't pay it once, and you're not gonna pay it again, then we have the money, it's gonna start rolling over. And it was about $40,000 or $50,000 you got. There's gotta be twice that on the street. And that's a lot of money when it comes to this operation.
So are you saying, though, that the owners of the machines have paid the businesses? Because that's not
Yeah,
how
well,
I'm
they wrote
understanding
a
it.
check to the business for the amount of our tax. It was up to them to get it done, because the bill came to them. And they did that so that the buyers wouldn't have to pay the money out of their cost. They took the whole bite of the bill. And it's normally split in half, in my experience, it's always split in half. You mostly profit.
Right.
But initially, they need this, your company wrote the check, and I know for a fact that they did it for us in the region, and that's how it paid up. And there's other companies did it too, and I know that.
We're gonna have to get a handle on getting these things identified and.
The point was, when we hired that individual, they were supposed to go into each area and look for these machines. My understanding, the only thing that they did was send out letters and enforce letters to meet the properties we have. So if you look at the list, it's a fairly large, it seems towards bars and restaurants. It doesn't show all the other places that have
Smoke shops and all
and
that.
smoke shops and et cetera, beauty shops, whatever. I don't know,
So-
grocery stores.
The person who, we went through sergeants. We probably need to have somebody who sergeants as on monthly, or however you want to situate their time or whatever, and not a one and done kind of thing, because the machines are coming and going and life's moving on, and if you don't keep up on that, it's gonna run into the same
One thing I
situation.
can tell you, interrupted, is the state has a bill right now in front of them, that it may come out of our hands altogether. And we'll get a piece of it back. So the best I would suggest is to try and get as much
Because
identification
you can now.
of where the machines are, because if the state takes over, then they're gonna give us one other piece of the pie they decide to give us, and the rest of those,
When's that coming up, do you know?
they have it go in session,
It's in the governor's budget.
it's in the governor's budget now.
So I would, rather get somebody on board here.
Well, I just, so I can clarify of what was done, we did have, the sergeant's employee, what they did was, we compiled the original list of about 80 businesses, both based on a pass list, based on reports from everybody, based upon our own just, looking at the map to say, all right, and going out in the neighborhoods, we know this place has them. So we mailed those letters out and said, the business had to self-report how many they had to send their tax in, right? So for the ones that did comply, that's what they did. They sent in their inventory sheet, they wrote down, we have 5 machines times the fee, here's our check. So then what the sergeant's employee did was to go out to those businesses, verify that what they had reported was accurate, and then to deliver their stickers.
What about
So-
the ones that they didn't?
So that's where we are now.
Yeah.
So we still have, there's 28 that haven't paid.
That we know of, there could be.
That we know of. Now, there could be more, and there's going to be more that come online, because these things operate like orange bills on a ship. So, so that's where we are now, and we're having staff go out to the 28 to essentially inventory how much, or how many machines they have and how much tax they owe, so that then we can work with Attorney Perry here to take enforcement action. Because we have to know what they owe before we can enforce.
Okay, so the skill shop that just opened up on Fairfield, is that on anybody's radar right
It will be if it's not already.
now? Well, consider it on the
Yeah,
radar.
well, that's, yeah, yeah, so it's on the radar, and if we haven't set up one, we will make sure to do.
Councilman Arnone, and still misunderstanding, the way it was presented to me is the owner will pay their amount, but also the persons that own the machines and rent them out, they have to pay a separate amount. Even if they give you the money to pay for yours, they still have to pay an amount on their machines. That's how it was presented to me.
That may be in outside county. The way our bill was presented was a tax on each individual machine.
But I'm saying we may need to relook at that if this is the case.
So that, I don't know that that's the case. It's even the point of this situation. It's the machine itself. The owner has no play. The owner of the establishment has no play. There's a machine that's on the property. The point is that you want to tax that machine. The operator has given money for this, because they don't want them to pull the machines out. They're willing to eat that cost, because you give up the location and you tie up your cash to make the payout.
See, but I'm saying, it was rented as two different ones.
I think the way our bill's set up, it's not, I mean, the way our.
No, but that's why we're looking at this for consideration, like,
So, yeah, I understand what you're saying, Mayor, and you and Chuck are both saying the same thing, but I think the issue is when we drafted our ordinance, and again, that I was opposed to it because of exactly where we are right now. I met with Mr. Ritter about a month ago to just kind of get an update on where we were and how Sally's employees handling things. He said that the Sally's employee worked for 13 days, and then at that point, he turned them loose because they didn't need them anymore. To my dismay, I said, well, what did they do? And he said exactly what the manager said, that they took those 80-some places that we knew about and went out and stickered them and verified that they said they had 5, or whatever. And at no point did anybody go out and start a sweeping canvass of the area. And to our defense, or to the defense of whomever, we refer to this, city staff or we, I quite frankly feel like codes has enough to do with property maintenance citations. I don't understand why we didn't utilize the sergeant's person to actually go out and do these things. Start at one end of town, work their way across and just knock on doors and go look. Because like Chuck said, if we collected $40,000 or $50,000 off of those 80 businesses, I'm gonna tell you, there's probably 3 times that amount off of businesses that we aren't even aware of. And this goes back to why I said when we first talked about this, unless we had truly prepared for how we were gonna go out and assess these properties, we were always gonna be up against it like this. Now like Chuck said, we're almost ready to start billing again, but we haven't even collected off the ones we knew about.
The if I can interject, and you remember when I asked that, I said that we should look at everybody that has a business license. That's how they should inspect the property. If you have a business license within the city, whatever kind it is, I don't care if it's hairdresser or meat peddler, or a grocery store, because they,
The only thing I'm gonna say too, we said we could wait, but at least we have 40 or 50,000. There might be more out there, but if we waited again, we would have zero.
right, I understand, but we're not, we don't have a concrete thing status, and we're going into the next round, and we're gonna be in trouble.
Because I mean, Mike and I, when we first started, as a matter of fact, the manager, I told him to be involved with the river. And brought up how they were gonna do the plan there. I spoke about it, there's no way to do that properly. I was pretty, last week I think I was pretty good, right? It's a great, 14 machines right here.
No sticker.
And they didn't know, they didn't rightly know who I was, I got throughout the woods, so you guys got a lot of machines in there, don't you? But you guys are really tactical, it's not like that, keep quiet, don't you?
That's the problem.
Yeah,
So I kind of like the idea of starting one in a town and sweeping across the green, has something to do, sergeant's employee back to do that, or does that not seem like it would be just a tiny thing, what do you think?
like certain areas, certain section at a time.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, I mean, they are proliferating everywhere, so, you know, maybe it is a good idea that we just send it to every business license now, just because they are everywhere. So that's, I mean, that's honestly not a bad idea, but for this year, we have, you know, the 28 who haven't paid, we're gonna go after those 28. And we're gonna have our staff do that, because it's, you know, you divvy it up amongst the 3 code officers, it's 10 places they have to go, that's not a lot of time. So they're gonna go in there, find the, you know, inventory the machines, and then we'll work with Attorney Berry to make sure that, you know, they're paying their taxes, or if they're not, we're taking legal action against those properties. And business.
Anything else on this? Dennis, do you have anything else to add?
Stand the report.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll move on then to the council updates, starting with Councilwoman Huckabee.
You get there.
I got a couple of you.
Okay, yeah, we're getting there. No, just a couple of updates. I encourage everyone to attend gallery, talk to the gallery on gazebo. There's a great exhibit up right now. I believe it's Shades of Identity, and it explores African-American art and culture with particular artist Ashley Jones. So she will be speaking in 2 weeks on a Friday. That event is free, and so is the event this Friday, where artist Ron Donahue, who is popular for his Pittsburgh streetscape artwork, is presenting on Friday, so that is also free. And we have Band of Brothers performing in the former St. Columba Church. We've got 2 nonprofits working together, which is great. I love that synergy. That is coming up here at the end of February, beginning of March. So those are 2 good events at reasonable cost, and encourage everyone to support our nonprofits. Thank you.
Councilwoman King?
I attended the vision, and where they, the round table, okay, where they, are talking about the neighborhood project as far as building the houses that they want to build in the neighborhood. So I'm working with Joe, to, actually, get qualified candidates. Because one of the issues that we have in the city is not so much people wanting to purchase a home, because there are multiple people who want to purchase homes in the city. And I know this for a fact. We need people to qualify for homes, and that's the problem. And so I've been working with them and the Bridges Group from United Human Services. And so out of that has come a commission on poverty. And the first meeting of the commission on poverty will be on Monday, February 26th at 2:30 at Christ Center Community Church. And I invite any council to come and be a part of that. That's a Monday, February 26th at 2:30. And I think it's time for us to start looking at credit repair, or whatever you want to call it, as a human service. Something maybe Even I thank you for, supporting the project and everything that you've been doing to help us, to kind of get this together, because this affects our neighborhoods, because the more people we can get to purchase homes, the better our neighborhoods will be. That's, I don't have much more to say.
If anybody looked into, a few years back, probably a decade now, the housing authority did build 4 brand new houses in Cooperstown, and they had to be occupied and owned, with the job, et cetera. Are they kind of looking into that as a model? It might be a different stream of funding, but.
No, actually, they have a program, and I don't know why I don't remember the name of the program, but the young lady who is the coordinator of the program, she's a part of this, I'm working with her as well. And what it is that, which I wouldn't say in the program, Jacob, she's the one that,
Oh, Jada, the housing authority.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, I'm telling you, the program is sticky, but the point is that currently, she has like 54 families that she's working with. And those are the families that, have licenses been held in escrow for them. So, yes, so at the end of that time period, they can actually utilize those funds to, act as a down payment, on a house. So, so she is part of this program, and actually, I just talked to her about coming there to actually begin to, do some financial literacy work.
Now, are you, crossing over into the city, with the, closing cost funds that the city
Yes.
has for that?
Yes.
You're bringing that into the
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you. Councilwoman Moore?
Okay, well, for the West End Improvement Group, I'm working on getting, wrapping up our neighborhood initiative grant information, winding down, get some clearances on the properties that we have planned. Several things, we applied to the Community Foundation and got some, money for some items that were part of the plan, but we thought we would use that money to get from the Community Foundation and bring our costs down a little bit. I'm gonna send in the initiatives to the community garden, it falls into their criteria. And today, several people, a few, very qualified, very, intuitive people met with even and I about the park. I'm not gonna drop any names, but, these women, it's always good to have another set of eyes looking at the design or some ideas. And we talked with the city manager, and some of their ideas were, be taken into consideration. It was a good conversation. And, the park, redo is gonna happen, but, it's not a done deal yet, and there's some things that need to be addressed, and it's gonna address everything that everybody was brought up. Today was a good day to talk about this. So, working on that, and, I think that's it.
And in relation to the park, I've been talking about the waterworks. There's more to it if people are going to actually participate and use the waters. So it could be quite costly if water's just running through there. And if you recycle it, then you have to do all the chemicals that is in So that needs to be looked at,
That's exactly.
depending on how it's used.
Well, and I keep saying this, that it looks good as a thing on paper and good for the community and everything, but the bottom line is maintenance, expense, liability, wet kids going into stores, all that kind of stuff. So that splash park,
Well,
May or
yes,
may
but
not.
we need to think of the
yeah,
operation.
but
part.
you gotta balance everything on that, and the cost is something that has to be looked at too, with involving everything. And I'm all for the park getting fixed up nice and a lot of things, amenities that everybody wants to see, but at what cost to the city for everything involved, and is it gonna take away from other repairs on Main Street that need to be done? So that's something that us as a council need to look at seriously, and until it's ready to go, and we still have to look at anything. So I'm cautiously looking at the whole design, very, how do I want to say it, open ears and eyes and making sure everything is.
Does council had a chance, or do we have the ability to see the animated piece that was presented at the summit that I attended?
Yeah, that's, I believe it's on our Ray's website. If not, I'll email it to all of you. And if it's not on the website, then I'll put it on
Yeah.
there. But I think that got put on the website after the summit. So yeah, I will distribute that to you guys and make sure if it's not on the website, that's good.
All right.
There
Anything
were-
else, Marie?
Yeah, but getting back to the park thing, too, there were some concerns when people saw the layout. And that's what sort of erupted, like, hey, you can't do that, and you can't do this. So what people see on the animated thing or the slideshow or whatever, it's still a work in progress. You know, it's not something that is etched in stone. So people need to not panic so much about things. So it's good to look at that kind of stuff, but you can't think this is gonna be absolutely it. So it's up for discussion on a lot of items, and I'm still gonna keep talking about it, so.
Okay. Before we move on, I just wanted to go back and compliment Sylvia and Vision for the group that you did in return a few weeks ago. I found that to be excellent, a chance to really hear people from Johnstown, voices that are complaints, that are positives, et cetera. So thank you for hosting that. You're doing very well. Uh-oh. Who needs to move their car?
No.
Oh, that's right, okay.
Get all nervous.
Somebody sit up straight.
I guess we'll take a break there. We do the swearing in this evening.
Last month, you guys asked me to, get business cards for all the officers.
Yes.
They all now have business cards,
Okay,
and, you asked me to bring you guys up, so these are three of them. The other two will be the next one.
okay,
Come over and you guys down, so I'll have them come up and introduce.
okay.
Good evening. My name is Adam Miller. I started in November. Grew up here in Johnstown, 23 years old. I'm excited to start my career.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Johnson, we were all in the same academy class, we all started in November. Went to Forest Hills High School, I now live in Johnstown, so, last 5 years I've been a Johnstown resident, so all good there, excited to continue working here.
Very good, welcome.
Officer Law, grew up heading in Forest Hills, obviously graduated the same time as them. Living in West Lawn now. Excited to be here and happy to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Okay, we'll go back to the agenda at this time. Deputy Mayor.
I have nothing at this time, Mayor. I'll reserve mine for,
Councilman Brett. Councilman Arnone.
As in the past few months, I have provided an update on specific information relating to the population of the public housing communities located in the city of Johnstown. As of December 31st, 2023, a total population of the Johnstown public housing communities was 2,232, and our Section 8 voucher holders in the city of Johnstown 1,180. This amounts to a total combination of 3,412. We are currently assisting 45% of the people living in poverty in the city of Johnstown. The Prospect location has affected these population statistics. The process for proceeding with the repairs in Prospect and continue with sealed bids for electrical, plumbing, construction work to open on January 16th. As you saw in the paper today, the work is started. They are starting to do, I think they're starting with 10 units at a time. And those residents will be asked if they want to come back before they, as they do projects, any of the past residents to get the first opportunity to move in. The NHA Section 8 program has made great strides in 2023, now assisting over 100 more families than it has this time last year. 862 families are currently participating in this program, with residents are able to rent a quality home from private landlords and the open market with Section 8 rental assistance. Section 8 uses 862 leased out of 960. That's 90% of what we have. In the city of Johnstown, it's 504, so that number is not just the city of Johnstown. Other parts of Cambria County include 310, and the port-outs are 48, which amounts to about 5%. So it's not like it was before when there was people coming here, getting them and going to Philadelphia. So it's down to 50% or 5%. So that number's come down greatly in the last year. You have any questions for the housing authority? They also have started programs. They hired 8 people within the system to work part-time in the communities. And with the other assistant programs, they are now, as Reverend Sonny King has said, that they are educating people on debt circumstances and how to run banks and how to do their banking and try to create a foundation for them to move on to the next step in life. The people we just recently hired made great strides in that. As for the water part, as of the end of January, the city of Johnstown is approaching 70% pressure testing, which when we sold it was around 54, I think, 52 or something. So they made great strides, and unfortunately, the fine is going up considerably. The pressure is coming down on the water just as well. You realize this process is over 10 years old, and the city and the area has given as much help as they can. It's still available out there, but some people just don't want to do it. It's going to happen eventually. The fine's going to make you want to do it or even abandon it. They are also capping off abandoned services so that that number will help reduce. About a third of the number we have left are properties that are either demolized or are not demolized, but are abandoned properties. So as they go back to the oldest ones first, they're only 4 or 5 years old. They're taking that, what they call a reservation capacity, and capping that. In which case, the person would want to put the property back in line, they have to pay for new capital. Currently, there are 31 properties that did not complete the 2023 annual backflow testing. They will be fined. They're not doing this. That's a federal program. You have to have. What that is the chemicals that they come out of your property don't run into the system. So it's important to have a backflow. All the reservoirs are full and water quality is in great shape. They're making progress towards the Kernville pumping station, which will allow the water to be used from both units. It hasn't been built yet.
Oh.
It hasn't been built yet. They just got approval to.
Where's it going? Where's it gonna go?
It's up on the top of the park.
Oh.
South and Sherman.
So what's that?
South and Sherman.
South and Sherman, yeah. It's up in the top of the park. It allowed water to move safely between the other units and the backup system that we can stay pressurized all the time. They're working towards a renovation of Northport Dam. I don't suppose they've been working on that, go ahead for EDPs for over 10 years. They had to go ahead and do it, they have 2 years to complete it, and that process is in works right now, probably within a year of submitting for the contract to the work. That's all.
Very good. Any questions? Before we move on, just a shout out to some of the business, particularly the War Memorial this past Sunday. Gave away 75 to 100 tickets to needy families and children in the lounges up there, and provided pizza and popcorn. So sometimes we take things for granted, but it's nice to recognize when businesses do things like that. We're above and beyond. So moving on, petitions, ordinance for final read and adoption, none. Ordinance for first read. Bill number 1 of 2024, the fee schedule updates. An ordinance of the city of Johnstown, Cambria County, Pennsylvania, amending ordinance number 5354, passed May 31st, 2023, updating the fee schedule of the city of Johnstown. Do I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Do I have a second? Questions or comments?
Question, I'd like to be able to review that fee schedule.
We have it.
It's in there?
Oh, you done?
Yeah, that's
Okay. I was talking to Dave Williams today, and we got on the subject of when the code complaint of fire in somebody's backyard, to the property and whatnot. And I mentioned that, the fire department does go check it out, give them the ordinance, how you can do it. And Dave suggested that perhaps, and I did check the new fee schedule, it's not on there, perhaps finding people if it's like the second time that you're out there. because the fire truck has to go down, check it out, using gas and everything. And if they're warned, they should be following the second time. So can we add that on there?
Yeah, actually, they're talking about this, and we just weren't able to. So for the second read, I think we will be able to have that piece in there, the illegal burn, fines and associated fees to cover the city's costs.
Yeah, okay.
Everybody comfortable with on the second read, and we passed the first read here? Okay, roll call then?
Mr. Running?
Yes.
Mr. Britt?
Yes.
Mr. Capelli?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mrs. Moss?
Yes.
Yes.
Bill number 2 of 2024, prohibition of the teethering and declawing of pets. An ordinance in the city of Johnstown, Cambria County, Pennsylvania, amending part 6, section 614 of the city of Johnstown Code of Ordinances by adding new sections 56 and 57, prohibiting the declawing and teethering of cats, and to prohibit unattended dogs and cats being left outside during the inclement weather, and to designate the enforcement to the city of Johnstown Police.
Motion to table.
You have a table? Second? All right, we can't discuss that yet, so it's been tabled. I'm sorry, roll call?
Mr. Britt?
Yes.
Mr. Capelli?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mrs. Moss?
Yes.
Ms. Hugo? No. Mr. Running?
Yes.
What was the vote on 6-1?
I would like to have a workshop to discuss this.
Okay, all righty. Resolutions, PennDOT property acquisition, resolution of City Council, City of Johnstown, Cambria County, Pennsylvania, authorizing and directing the city manager to facilitate the transfer of properties to PennDOT for the Goucher Street Improvement Project. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second,
Second.
questions on this? What specifically is the property looking at?
Is it the dip on Beach Street Hill?
It's actually just a very small edge of property along the road. So it's a linear piece of property, and it's, maybe 20 feet wide. So like 20 feet is right on the right side of the road as you're going down. So yeah, it's de minimis.
Where's it
piece of
located
property on Goucher Street. But yeah, it's part of Stackhouse Park. Yeah, and the district, yeah, so, PennDOT is offering $2,200 for the property.
It's 29,000 square feet. I mean, it's not a little, it's significant. I just want to make sure that that's a reasonable, price for, it's big, I mean, I understand where it is and its location, but it's a significant, 29,000 square feet is not a small piece of property.
Is that what they offered and we agreed, or was there?
Yeah, and that's, here's the, it's linear, so it's not, like a 20, half acre square lot.
This one?
There's basically 4 small pieces that are, again,
It's
about
15 feet wide.
15 feet wide,
And
going the length of the roadway.
they're,
So, and they did give us they gave us additional money for the trees that are located on this specific property.
Are we currently maintaining that?
No, it's just wooded areas.
It's just-
You're not doing anything to maintain it, are you, Jared?
no, that's what I was gonna say. It's not buildable space. It's simply, it's basically within a right of way. They're gonna extend the road there, widen out, push the guide rail back a little bit, stabilize that landslide, the dip where you go through. It's gonna run the whole way from Westgate, the whole way down to Fairfield Avenue. It's the entire length of Goucher and Beach Street. We ran it by Stackhouse Parks Committee as well. They're on board with it.
And I'm not looking to use it or get it. I just want to make sure that, we set a precedent here of what we're taking for a property, and we have to do this again later in a place that maybe isn't this particular situation. I just don't want to have to come back and have this conversation that, well, we did it this way before. I just want to make sure that
There's no
fair price for
Sure.
what we're doing.
There's no set way, so we did offer, we brought up about a variable, maybe an exchange of land, like where PennDOT owns land, but they weren't, it's difficult with that size of land to encompass that within the city,
I got
So we did explore some other ideas as well.
So what did they give us for the trees?
$700.
They're timber for
Have any other questions?
They're not gonna, they're gonna pull this right out. They're not gonna put the. I can guarantee you that.
Since we're done, roll call, please.
Mr. Capriati?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes.
Reverend King?
Yes.
Mrs. Moss?
Yes.
Stuco?
Yes.
Marinelli?
Yes.
Mr. Bennett?
Yes.
Honan Avenue Park bid approval. Resolution of City Council, City of Johnstown, Kansas County, Pennsylvania, authorizing the city manager to execute all documents required and take all actions necessary to sign an agreement with Berkebile Excavating Company Incorporated for the Honan Avenue Park Improvement Project 2023-09. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second? Questions or comments?
This is everything as it stands, start to finish, right? Or what is this encompass?
This includes bicycle, portability, walking trail, and stormwater drainage for the park. As Mary Ann had mentioned, there are some additional things that they'd like to fundraise for, but we feel like this is a solid start. This is, this will definitely get the park up and running in much better shape than it is now, and provide a base for future fundraising efforts. And I do want to note that, this really is, when council allocated the $150,000 for the neighborhood opportunity fund, I mean, this really is the type of project that we are looking for. So, we're hopeful to be able to use those funds as well to leverage additional dollars to build additional improvements into the park. So, a lot of credit to Mary Ann and the Minersville group here for working to push this project forward. They put a lot of hard work into this project.
There's no other questions, roll call?
Mayor?
Yes.
Reverend King?
Yes.
Mrs. Moss?
Yes.
Stuco?
Yes.
Marinelli?
Yes.
Mr. Britt?
Yes.
Mr. Capriati?
Yes.
All right, moving to new business, city manager, you want to take care of that, please?
Sure, thank you, Mayor. So, Clyde Williams, who is a longtime member of the city's Civil Service Commission, recently passed away. And so we have a vacancy on the Civil Service Commission. We're recommending that council appoint Susan Bach to Mr. Williams's unexpired term. Ms. Bach is currently the alternate member of the Civil Service Commission. So if we appoint Ms. Bach, we'll have a full commission, and then we would be in need of an alternate member, but unfortunately, we don't have any applicants right now for the Civil Service Commission. We'll be working on that, but we are recommending the appointment of Ms. Bach to fill the unexpired term on the Civil Service Commission that runs through December 31st, 2025.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All righty. Any questions? If not, roll call?
Reverend King?
Yes.
Mrs. Moss?
Yes.
Stuco?
Yes.
Marinelli?
Yes.
Mr. Britt?
Yes.
Mr. Capriati?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes. Old business, none at this time, department reports, public works, Jared?
Just two items I have for you guys this evening. The Village Street Playground, late last month, they started kind of looking out there and moved all the wood structure, in the process of ordering the new playground apparatuses for that playground as well. We look to move forward with that as well. The other thing that staff this past, for the last 2 weeks out at the tennis court, the lower tennis courts out of Rossbury Park, they're repairing the wall, the several areas where it's cracked up. The White Crew has Association about that more attention a few times, so they those items as well.
Do we have any funds coming for those tennis courts? I keep getting a lot.
Yeah, I was going to mention that since Sharon brought it up. We actually, last year we applied for a grant for $88,000 to fix up the tennis courts, about half of that. Tony kind of is going to be working with the Tennis Association to figure out how we can spend the money we were granted, and kind of recalibrate our plans there. So hopefully we can at least get 1 or 2 courts fixed up while we look for the additional funds.
One question I have, Jeff. I know that we haven't had a lot of snow, and it's really not plowing, and you have guys doing a lot of different things. Along Fryer Street, and different areas of the side where there's long weeds, you have ever cut some up behind the curbs?
Yeah.
Last year, sometime. It's real easy to cut them right now, that's what I'm saying.
We talk about
Right along Fryer Street.
where the foundations are still out in those houses.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so there's a project that's gonna be coming up, us in conjunction with the development authority, to sit over there with the machine and do like a whole regrading project.
We try to make that area,
Yeah.
a bunch of houses now, it's right to the hospital, it's a business
Yeah,
district,
you have the bike trail right
bike
there.
trail and all that stuff, It's just, it hangs down over, you can't walk past it. It's going on there. Oh, all right. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we get on next month's agenda? It's not too soon to talk about the lots and cutting grass and
Yeah.
all that stuff. We might have talking about in June, which is too late, so. Police chief?
Good evening. I was happy to see you guys recognize Mr. Mayor. I had the opportunity and the pleasure to meet the guy, spent time with him. Came to the station, toured the station, told me about his checking Bobby Orr. Ran after my heart, played a great sport of hockey, and he was a law enforcement officer. So we came back, it was a great time. Good to have him here in town. So, begin the sergeant's test. We had one individual pass the test, and he's now eligible for promotion. We're happy with that. We're going to start on a recruiting drive, so we can get some more recruits. Seems like Pleasant City Academy is really having a great impact. We're attracting folks in the area, so I'm pretty happy with the result. We had a nice drug arrest January 26th. We received almost 2 pounds of methamphetamine, also $49,000 in cash, $3,500 in counterfeit currency. So then we get 7 months. So we'll keep the pressure up, keep handling them, and expect see that every couple of weeks. I hit come your
Yeah, I've heard a few things.
What are the numbers with your staff?
We're currently we're going to be losing an officer, so I think we're going to put it down by 7 8.
Better than what it was.
Yeah, much better. We're like so those guys are going to be ready for. They'll be getting shadowed for 3 weeks, the last 3 weeks of their training. So they'll be out on the street on their own pretty soon. So that will leave a lot of pressure on us.
City manager sent over to Sue Mann the information for the LPRs. So she sounds very confident that we should be okay to get the money from 1889, which will go with the 20-some thousand that we already have allocated here for that. And that's basically just going to be phase 1. So once they get up and monitored, and if there's anything else that you need, other equipment or more placement of them, that will be phase 2, and then we can bring in representatives to see if we can see how good it's working and maybe add to it. So
Fantastic news. We did get the quote from Watkins, and they added a couple other stations on there, something that we didn't request. I don't know if we need to pay more, if we need to just see what happens.
do we want to send that over to Sue or just keep it as is?
Yeah, I wanted to talk to the chief and Captain Miller about that before we send it over, but.
I had that looked at other vendors too. Watkins took a while to get back to it, so I started looking for other vendors. So, but I don't want to take any more time. It's been a long time.
Yeah. But you sent her over what you have, right? So that should be enough. Good. Well, if she wants to see anything up for more current, you could just give her what you have, a red line, the difference that you don't want.
Yeah, I think it came in a pretty good deal higher than the last one. We were wondering why, and so we started to examine it, and we realized they had a few
Oh,
more
nice.
stations.
Nice of it.
So that's where the discrepancy came.
Good, I'm glad it's moving along.
Chief, do you have any update on where things stand with the school resource officer situation? Is the school moving in a different direction and we can just take our one guy that's left right now and bring him back onto the street? Do you know where we're at with all this?
So, yeah, we've had some talks, and right now, it looks like they're kind of at a stalemate. They're starting to realize the things that are necessary to actually, to have a police force. So we have cats in the school, we valuable assets, so right now, we're kind of in a holding pattern. I did talk to Mike and Amy, regarding, not specifically for, school resource officer. I did send out, a request for our current officers, and none of them want to be takers. And, I don't want to force somebody into the school, because that's not what it's, NASRO tells us, it's not something you can do. In my experience also with this company, something we shouldn't do. So right now where it stands, we're holding our own. Chaz is, he's going back and forth between schools, and, because he's able to de-escalate situations the way he does, he's able to fulfill that. So, and I think they're realizing that, we can't have, we can't have two chiefs. Chaz can't work in the school and serve Amy and them and work for me, in the city. It doesn't work that way, so, and that's what I explained to the school.
I think it would be important for them, if they don't know it, I mean, you built police departments for school districts before you came here, and I think it would be smart to listen to you and the process, because as a parent with kids in the school district, it makes me nervous to think that, we've got one guy that's trying to bounce between two places, and I do think it's probably gonna burn them out at some point, because it's a lot. I mean, it'd be nice if they would just, get on board with, doing it the way that it needs to be done, so that, we can be more effective than what's going on right now.
Well, that's, so as soon as I hear from them, I can start moving forward and start looking for that person. And obviously they have to have one for me, but, I'm sure there's somebody out there that retired guy or something, that just wants to be an SRO and, wants to make a difference in our school. So,
If, they opt not to have APD over there, we lose the funding, of course. So how does that affect? Yeah. No, it's
Still have empty spaces in the police force.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm just thinking like of the funding, because,
Well, we lose us funding.
yeah,
Right. So we get that'd be one of the spots that we have to fill.
Yeah.
The scouts will come back. So, we're not really gonna lose anything other than the fact that, we're still gonna be responding to the schools, because they're not gonna have enough people to handle them.
you gotta get her anyway, so.
Right, yeah, that's, at the end of the day, we're gonna have to respond, and obviously we would, the court, our schools and our schools are community, so, I'm on board with that, I would support them, so, I guess the ball's kind of in their court right now.
This would be for, fall 24, 25.
That's right, yeah, Chad will stay with them through summer and city, summer is even busier than the regular school year, because of the summer school and all programs and stuff, and so, we want to keep them on that until they can make the transition, or even, find somebody to work with them.
I think very, very important to say the least. I can't stress how much the importance of that officer in the school, just to maintain. And they create a different relationship than the police officer out on the street.
Absolutely, yeah, they drop some fees there every day, and they really open up to them, so, we're happy to have this valuable resource, and I know the school, understands that, how valuable it is.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Fire, Chief, please.
Just a couple things, update you guys, the, fire engine that was ordered for the Johnstown station in June of 22. We were down, last week to review plans that will go online, and we'll probably get delivery of that unit, end of April, beginning of May. So it's unfortunately taking a long time to get stuff out, and it's 2 years. Which talking to some other departments, they're giving 3 and 4 years now for a piece of fire equipment. So not something we like, but something that we don't The second one was kind of a quick notice thing. I just actually talked to the manager yesterday. After some prodding for a long time, we finally got a notification from Johnstown loading on the training site, and they're planning on starting to put the building back up on Tuesday. One kind of short notice and rough, but we're gonna work with them and get started on that. So that process is good to go, and then we'll work on the rest of the stuff that we, the fencing and all that. It was a short notice. We were kind of in springtime, but they're gonna take advantage of the weather and the fact that they have staff.
Any other questions for the chief?
Any update on when you're gonna start working on either of these stations with the money that was allocated to do some of those improvements?
The only money right now is the state grant that was put in for West End. Right now, there's nothing else on the money wise, and we'll go and we'll put them through the state.
I'm more concerned on the station in Cornerstone. I mean, you don't want to get a new truck
I
and
hate
have
to say
it.
it's been that way for years, but yeah, it's an issue that needs
Yeah.
addressed, but, money first of all.
Thank you,
We can
chief.
find something.
Yeah.
All right, at this time, public comment, no one is signed for the non-agenda items. We'll recess here, but we're going to go into executive session, so, we'll adjourn our meeting for this evening. And go into executive session to go over the